This is how you know your aqua-hot's not working right. Look at that. See all that black? Well, you can't see, but at the bottom of that, you'll see so there's a couple things I want to talk about. A lot of people would discourage buyers from getting a unit with an aqua-hot system, and as there are some aqua-hot systems out on the market that have been known to be faulty all the time, do your research. Make sure that the coach you're looking at or that it doesn't have that unit. I'm not gonna say what unit that is on here. Do your research, you'll figure it out. Aqua-hot's really good as long as you service and maintain it. This is a hiccup that probably was due to my last service, and I probably ripped one of these rubber grommets when I was putting the burner back in after changing the nozzle. So that's user error. Can't blame that on the aqua-hot. However, it ran for several months fine, perfectly. Take your time, do your research on aqua-hot stuff. If you do own one, download the manuals. Aqua-hot has plenty of information online and step-by-step stuff of how to fix it. It's a good unit. Like I said, I just went through -2 degrees Fahrenheit outside with wind chills of -22, I believe, and I've been in situations worse than that in this bus and worked out great. I kept the basement at 68 degrees or 67 degrees, and the bus up top stayed at 68. It was great. The only thing I wish I had was a fireplace, but more on that later. Well, I just got notification that my parts have arrived, so I'm gonna go ahead and start the bus, let it preheat, get warm, go pick up my parts, come back, get everything locked down in the bus so that way we can move to a shop so I can do the work indoors, stay a little bit warmer since it is 14 degrees outside. Burr. These Skechers that you just step in, I call them my old man shoes. One, because I am getting old, but two, man, they just make things a lot easier. Keys and wallet, put them in my pocket so I don't lose them. And here we go. Bus is preheating. Well, I kind of lucked out. The aqua-hot worked great through that last cold front. At one point in time, we were -3 degrees with a wind chill of -23, I think. I hope everybody else that was living full-time in theirs were lucky enough, like I was, to not have any problems. Currently, I am at an RV park, and most everybody fared well through it. There was one person, maybe two, that I saw that had about a 3-4 inch in diameter icicle hanging down from their camper. I don't wish that upon anyone. That's a nightmare. And the only thing you can do is wait for it to thaw to figure out what the problem is. Thank gosh that didn't happen to me. If it happened to you, I feel for you. We're at the post office. Hopefully they're still open. Let's go inside. Oh no. I don't know if you can see that, but they're closed Saturday and Sunday. Let's see if we can figure out a way to get this package. Because this morning I woke up with carbon monoxide going off because the burn isn't efficient. So it was throwing some black smoke and not good. But I kind of already know the problem because I looked into it first. So let me make some phone calls, see if I can get this package, because it's in a partial locker, but I don't have a key. No, good morning. How are you, good sir? Well, I came to the post office to get some parts for my motorhome, and they're not open on Saturdays anymore. So I was wondering if I could borrow your P.O. box key to get a key in there that has my stuff in another partial locker. Yeah, I'll be at the bus for a little bit. Sounds good, I appreciate it. Bye. So we got the package, or I don't physically have the package. Made some phone calls. It's in a P.O. box of someone I know. I thought the post office was open on Saturdays. I guess that's changed, small town stuff. So he's gonna run up here, grab the key to the partial locker, grab the stuff out of the partial locker, and he's actually gonna bring it to the bus personally, which is awesome. I'm going to go back to the bus, clean everything up, get everything locked down for the move, and wait for the parts to arrive. I never consider parts delivered until you physically have them in your hand. I'm not looking forward to this. It's cold out there. All right, let's go. Whew. Oh yeah. This is how you know your aqua-hot's not working right. Look at that. See all that black? cold outside. I don't care what anybody tells you. Whew, that wind makes it even worse. The motorhome is warmed up. We're running at 1,000 RPM, 179 degrees. Oil pressure's at 45. Battery's at 13.8. Transmission temperature's 120. Kind of go off this because this goes off the ECM. I mean, the gauges are good, but this is better. I almost forgot to unhook the electricity. That could have been bad. You know, I've been watching these guys from Alaska. I'll put their names below, that drive around in their trucks. One has a cabin built on the back, which is freaking awesome, but it's 20 degrees here. I mean, they deal with negatives, like negative 40, wind chill negative 80. No way. That takes a special person, special breed. Here's another shot. This is when you know it's going bad. It's coming out here. Yep. That's the whole reason of this video. We're gonna fix that today. We'll go back inside and stay warm until the parts get here. Whew. All right, the bus fit. Barely. I'm gonna go ahead and start unloading everything. My Aquahot's located in the center of the bus. If you watch previous video about the Aquahot system, the link will be below about annual service on it. I live in this full time, so it's packed full of stuff. Oh, there's my flashlight. Power washer. Heated blanket for the black hose. Fire starter for my solo pit that we use quite a bit when we do barbecue competitions. Good old trusty flashlight. Can't go anywhere without this. I already have my tools, most of the tools down here, because as I'd mentioned previously, I've already kind of seen what is needed to fix this, but I figured I'd make a video to help everybody else figure out if this is a cause for theirs. My bus levels off of an air system, not hydraulic jacks. When I'm working on the Aquahot, what I always do is start the motor, build up air pressure, and lift the coach as high as possible. So that way, I'm not having to bend down as far to get in there. Something you learn over time when you get a little bit older. All right, here we go. Let's grab my screwdriver. And it will be a little dark in here, but not too bad. I'll try to get some lights going on. This is my Aquahot in the middle of the bus. All right, there's my Aquahot located in the middle of the bus. I already have this loosened up. So what we're gonna do is take this portion off. And we're gonna take the bottom portion off. Notice I've replaced circulation pumps there. Oh, sorry, right there. This is the burner controller, mixing valve. And earlier, I think I said 5800. It's 5350. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is take off this bolt here. I don't know if you can see it. Oh gosh. Hold on, let me get organized. All right, the first thing, these magnetic flashlights are amazing. So the first thing we're gonna do is take off this eye bolt here, and there's one on the other side. They're located at 2 o'clock and 7 o'clock, but I'm gonna unplug the burner first. The switches are off inside. The way that the Aquahot system works is that it heats up the boiler fluid with this burner here, and once that fluid's heated up and an area is calling for heat, what happens is one of these circulation pumps here activate, and the blower motors inside activate. It circulates that hot fluid through the bus and then blows over a radiator to heat the inside of your bus up. All right, what I've done is unhooked the controller. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but I'm gonna get my 10 millimeter bolts off. The eye bolts I was talking about earlier. This is my 2 o'clock eye bolt. And there's one located at 7 o'clock on the other side. This one you kind of have to feel for, especially with where all my stuff's located. I had a previous bus that was what was that bus? A country coach, and the Aquahot was mounted on the side of the country coach, and it was much easier to work on than this one. That eye bolt is loose. This eye bolt is loose. Be careful when you're pulling the burner away. Try not to hit anything like I just did. This is your burner. If you see these two rubber grommets here, they're both the same. This one here, you'll see how it's poked out here. This one's actually pretty good. Well, what happens is when it's sucking air in, this will add additional air to the package. See how it's flimsy and about to fall apart? Yeah, I can just pull that off. What happens is it gets too much air and then starts burning horribly. You notice how the disc has a little color to it. This in here is supposed to be a more aluminum color, but it's kind of black. And then this here's your burner tube. We're gonna grab that out in a second. So grab your burner. I always leave my fuel connected so I don't have to make a mess. I'm gonna set this to the side. We're gonna do more to that in a little bit. Right now, we're gonna get into this burner tube here. Pull it out. You'll notice immediately how bad it's been burning. Hasn't been burning cleanly. If you notice all the ash on the side there, you'll have some ash, but nothing like that. So here's the burner tube, and like I'd mentioned earlier, there's a bunch of soot on the outside. It's showing it's not burning efficiently. Now, I've already taken a look inside, but this here, that's all built up. That's why this thing was blowing that black smoke, blacking the rocks at the campsite. I have something going on with my swirler, and I purchased a new one. So I'm gonna replace the swirler on this tube itself. And also notice, see how this is shaped? That's probably some of the cause too. This was an actual Aquahot item. The swirler tube and this burner tube here is roughly at around $1,100 right now. This is supposed to be a perfect circle. So as I mentioned earlier with Aquahot stuff, you gotta pay attention. So what we're also gonna do, replace the swirler, but we're also gonna bang this out and get it more in a circle shape instead of a teardrop shape. I don't really know what to call that. All right, so now I have my tube set up on top of this tote here. I'm gonna go ahead and get all the ash off first and then try to get some of the inside out. Oh gosh, that's hard crispies. Hard crispies, not good. We'll go from there. Recommend using rubber gloves. I didn't have any, I ran out last week. So I'm using cotton gloves, but this diesel ash, once you get it on you, man, it's hard to get off. This is the second burner tube that I purchased from Aquahot and have had problems with. Some of it has to do with me not paying attention, and some of it has to do with bad quality. Not blaming it on Aquahot. I'm sure it's a third party that they have build them. This burner tube has 2 screws on it, located here, and I believe complete 180 from it, yep. What we're gonna have to do is get the burner tube off the mixer. Keep your screws, you're gonna need them. Something tells me this is gonna be an interesting, yeah, that's what I thought. I'm gonna grab some carb cleaner, clean around this area, and hopefully cool it off so that way it'll be easier to pull out. Where's my world's largest hammer? Oh, here it is. No! All right, I got the world's largest hammer. We're gonna do is tap on this around it. Oh, yeah. What you're not supposed to have is a coal-sized piece of burnt diesel in your burner tube. That's not good at all. There's 4 screw heads on the swirl assembly inside the chamber. The only way I'm gonna be able to reach that is an extension with another extension and another extension, a 1/4 inch socket, and a Phillips drive. We're gonna put this on my impact. Pretty ghetto, but it does the job. We're gonna reach down in there. Well, I guess I could have gone without an extension or two. Whatever you do, do not strip out those screw heads. Once you loosen those, you'll be able to work your hand around. Start prying the burner tube from the swirler chamber. And it's gonna be difficult because it's been hot and cooled so many times. Just slowly work the tube off. It's gonna take a little bit. Doesn't help that I have 16 feet of soot inside. I hope I get this off. Oh, okay. Whew. Well, that's half the battle. That's the head that goes in the aqua-hot, and your burner butts up against this end here. Here's your burner tube with your swirler, and I somehow have got to get this out of here. Wish I had a 2x4. If I had a 2x4, I'd do this to knock it out, because that little turkey is in there. All right, what I'm gonna do is clean around it first with some carb cleaner. And then I'll grab some WD-40, or ZEP 45 is what I really like to use. Okay, we got some ZEP 45. I'm gonna let this sit down in the burner for a little bit. Hopefully help saturate and loosen that up. Spray from the inside as well. Ta-da! Ta-da! Now, now comes the fun part, getting the other one in. Well, first I'm gonna clean out the burner chamber. Clean this up so I can show you the difference. Get a wire brush after it. Basically just cleaning all that soot off that I found from the previous swirler head. Yeah, looks much better. Now the tube itself, remember the shape? It's supposed to be round like that, but this one is not. So we're going to hammer it out to try to get it more round shape. Better. Much better. Getting much better. Make a couple more spots. Oh, much better. Now let me show you the difference between these two swirler heads. Here's the old one. Do you see how rough it is inside the swirler tube? If you look in these holes here, how they're not machined all that great. They're pretty rough at the ridges, so it doesn't make a consistent airflow. Here's a new one. Look how well that's machined. You should notice a considerable difference. Hopefully I do. All right, so burner tube on new head. That's it. See how easy that went on there? Remember how hard it was to take off? Well, if that's not a bunch of BS, I don't know what is. Now, let's go back to the other shop and start working on the rubber grommets. And I think that we'll have a masterpiece after this is done. That burner tube needs reshape, we did that. You can definitely see the difference in the mixing, the air mix. I mean, huge difference in quality. The new burner head itself, not burner head, excuse me, combustion chamber it does not have the two screw holes that the other one does, which makes me wonder if that was causing some backdraft coming back into this area, pushing air and fuel back in, recycling the soot and heat. I think we're gonna try it without the screw heads and see what happens. I don't know. I'm gonna look in the chamber first and see if this portion actually sits flat and has fins on the deep end to push the heat around coils, or around fins, I should say. If it doesn't, then I'm gonna have to drill some new holes for the screws. Oh no, let me think about this. After further evaluation, the new head does not have screw holes for the tube. So what I'm gonna do is currently mark the spots. I'm sure it comes this way because I'm sure every burn tube is just a hair bit different. So instead of having multiple holes in there, you'll just drill it out. Notice, left a mark, bink. On the other side, bink. Okay, now we have an updated burner head, a more round burner tube. This part here needs a little bit of adjustment, but it's where the seam goes down. So I think that might be as good as we're gonna get. That's definitely better than what we started with, isn't it? I think so. Yeah. So I looked down in the chamber of the Aquahot. I was thinking that we wouldn't have to have screws if there were fins on the end that would just hold this into place, but it doesn't. So I had to come back, mark my holes, drill through the aluminum, and reattach the screws. Now we go back, put the burner tube in, put the new rubber grommets on, adjust my electrodes, piece everything back together. So I've grabbed a wire brush and I'm gonna clean out the burn chamber. Some people vacuum it out, I just scrub it out, and then on the first light, the first ignition, it'll blow out the exhaust. So let me crawl back under here. I'm gonna give you a shot of the burn chamber, of what I'm gonna clean, and I'll do a before and after of it so you can tell the difference. All right, here's the burn chamber. You'll see how black it is right now, and you'll see down right, well, you can't see, but at the bottom of that, you'll see exhaust where it goes out. So I'm gonna wire brush all that out, clean it all up, clean the exterior up so it makes a good seal. All right, here's the after with the wire brush. You'll notice on the bottom, there's still some soot buildup, but like I mentioned, the first fire, that will go away out the exhaust. Now, let's work on the burner. All right, so what we're replacing on the burner is this rubber grommet here that I'm tapping on. I'm gonna pull it off and move the camera to better light so you can see the difference between the new one and the old one. Notice this one's still good. The bottom two are still good. There's 4 total here, 1 going to the electrodes, 1 going to the fuel pump, and 2 going to the actual fuel supply and return. Here's the one that we pulled out. Get a little closer. Yeah, you can really see it there. See how it's chewed up and eaten up? Here's side by side of new versus old. You can clearly see the difference in the two. Oh, sorry. There you go. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the first wire on. Or first wire in, sorry. In the grommet, push it to the front. Okay, second wire in the grommet, push it to the back. Ouch. Push it towards the back like that. And then that should slide in there like, oh, losing the light again. Like that. But man, I just don't like the way that fits. Oh, there we go. Let's take a look now. Oh yeah. Yes, much better. Okay. Push that up and down a couple times. Yes, much better. Perfect. Okay. Now that the grommet is on there, we're going to check the electrodes. And there there, spot on. This tool here is on the side of your Aquahot, and those needles are pointed perfectly. So we'll take that back off. Now what we'll do is put the burner back in with the 2 U-bolts at 2 o'clock and 7 o'clock. There's a second one down there. That's the 2 o'clock, and then that's the 7 o'clock. And I'll get that tightened down. You'll want to use inch pounds, not foot pounds, inch pounds. And on the inch pounds, you're going to do between 20 and 40 inch pounds per the manual. I always do to about 24. I burn a first cycle and then check the inch pounds one more time. Do as I say, not as I do. Read your manual. Of course, I take no responsibility for what may or may not happen to your Aquahot. Just be smart. Lots of ears on those burners get broken because people will over tighten them, for sure. So I'm gonna get that all done, and then we can watch and fire up the first burn. Don't forget to put your burner tube that we worked on right here back in before you mount your burner back up. I'm gonna do that right now. I can see clearly now the rain has gone. Oh. All right, snug like a bug in a rug. Now the burner goes on, we'll be ready to go. Before I start the first burn, I'm gonna go, ow, shocked me. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this off from all the soot. Perfect. All right, today was a long day, I will admit, but we had a lot of things going on. Don't let an Aquahot system defer you away from buying a motorhome or a bus. They're great systems. You just got to work with it, understand the product, understand how it works, and tinker with it. The best thing that you will ever do when owning a motorhome or motor bus, camper, camp trailer, anything, and for that fact, is learn your systems and work on them yourself to understand it, and it'll make things that much easier. I hope that was helpful. If you want, I'll put a link below that shows you how to service your Aquahot annually for the nozzle and diesel filter, and some other tidbits and hints there. If you have questions or comments, leave below. I'll happily answer them. I'm not a certified tech, but I do understand the systems. And remember, we're here for a good time, not a long time. Have fun, be safe, and I'll talk to you soon.